Hey everybody. welcome to welcome to SoulsReaper Healing. I shuffled all the decks I normally use, and I was sitting here, and as I lined them up I realized all of the blue. This one's purple. This one's got blue and purple in it, but the majority of the decks that that I've been using in most of my readings are blue. And I purchased all these decks at different times. But I was curious, and I looked up the blue color and which chakra it represents, and it represents the throat chakra. The blue chakra, sometimes referred to as the throat chakra, is a fifth energy point found in the neck's midsection. The blue chakra is associated with your capacity to express your genuine self and converse freely with others. Just going to see if it... Expression, self-reinforcing communication, speech, and healing. When off balance, there may be issues of self-expression, fear of no power or control. When in balance, we can express our truth without worrying about what others may think. And I noticed earlier, right before I started the video, when I was shuffling and asking, that my throat kept messing up. I kept having to clear my throat. So definitely clearing our throat chakra, I feel. So I'm going to start with Voyager Tarot. This is one of the first decks I started with when I started reading. This is actually the first deck I purchased to read with. I know most say to start with the Rider-Waite, but my son was drawn to this deck. He has one too. And I got one as well because I really liked the artistry. You can see it. But there's a lot of good, like the cards have different things. Like this one's the Nine of Crystals, which is the Nine of Swords. But the imagery is very beautiful in all of these. But let's see if we can get a card of current energy of the collective right now. It's the current collective energy. Devil's Play. It's the Devil card, Capricorn. Being tempted, maybe. Maybe being tempted to fall back in old patterns. I really feel like we're trying to clear this energy out right now. Like release any toxic patterns, beliefs, addictions. I'm going to get some more cards and see how this ties into everything that's going on energy-wise. Bottom of this deck is the Tower. So maybe sudden sudden realizations of maybe energies that are around us that we're not aware of. I already did this one. I'm just gonna collective energy, please. Collective. Remembrance. Been getting this one a lot. 83, which is an 11. Frequency of remembrance supports our memory of everything that we have gone through as a soul in body, providing us with valuable information and tools to flow gracefully with and in this life. So collecting our tools, releasing old things that we know no longer serve us. Bottom of this deck, 41 synergy, that's a 5. You know, 5s are all about change. Frequency of synergy supports our allowance and acceptance of not so obvious, never seen before combinations and unions that result in new ways of functioning, working, thinking, relating, loving, and being. It reminds us to embrace this unfamiliar so that new yet exciting co-creations can give birth to a new reality. So, like I said, with that Capricorn card, releasing patterns, beliefs, addictions, changing things out, you know, going with things that resonate with us, with our soul, letting go of the things that no longer resonate with our soul. Collective energy. One card, please. One card. Collective. Collective. One card energy. Bear with me, guys. This deck is very big and I have very small hands, so it's kind of cumbersome to shuffle. And I don't know how you guys have been feeling this past couple days. It's kind of been like a little bit of a roller coaster, you know, like we're definitely tuning into our gifts. I noticed yesterday, my son, I could feel his energy was very ungrounded. And that's something that, you know, I can usually feel other people's energies, but it's more so with my kids because they're in the same household as me. 2 fell out. Air element 93, well 39, sorry, I read it backwards. I'm used to adding them. Air element communicating, which is a 12. It breaks down to a 12. And then 12th house, escape, which is a 9. I usually don't take both, but I'm going to go ahead and take both of these since they wanted to come out. Communicating, escape, 12th house energy. Bottom of the deck, 7th house, partners, which is a 31, which equals a 4. This one here. Alright, 2 cards. Spirit Animal Oracle. 2 cards, collective energy, please. 2 cards. So collective currently dealing with right now, energy. Turkey Spirit, 61, which is a 7. Give with gratitude and grace. One more card, please. know yesterday I kept hearing that, I woke up hearing this song, and I haven't heard it in a long, long time. Mambo number 5. I haven't saved it on the playlist yet, but I will save it on the playlist. Sorry, that's too many cards. One card, please. And I don't... The song itself, I looked it up, and it was written back in the day, and then he remade it, and I think it was in 42 or something like that was the original song, and then he remade the song, but behind the song, his father kept telling him that the song was going to be big. And he had numerous, other songs that he tried, but they didn't go through, they didn't work. And this particular song, he prepared it and had it ready, and he actually played it for his father right before his father passed. But his father had predicted that song would explode in the charts, and it did. But that's what that song, the meaning behind the song is. But it is, Mamba number 5. Number 5, fives are change. Otter spirit, you are never alone. It's a 42, which equals a 6. I love this card. It's so sweet. Seeing those two just all cuddled up together. Bottom of the deck, wolf spirit, 67, turn knowledge into wisdom. That equals a 4. Okay, 3 cards. Current energy, collective current energy. Who's the collective currently working on? Possibly need to address. 3 cards, please. Grief. I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. Two more cards, please. Two more. Current energy for the collective. What are we working through right now? And do we need to walk through? 2 more cards. Thank you. Okay. Blame. I accept responsibility for my well-being. And discipline. I can accomplish what I set my mind to. Bottom of this deck is guilt. I release any beliefs that no longer assist in my soul's growth. So I feel like right now, we're facing this energy right now. Possibly communicating about it with others, not escaping, not running from it anymore. Not placing blame upon others or ourselves, or letting that go. There may have been patterns within yourself, within ourselves, I should say, because I'm part of this collective, where we consistently blamed ourselves for the things that we've gone through on this journey. Or it can be opposite, placing blame outside self, but learning that it comes from within. As within, so without. Whatever we are within, we project outside of ourselves. And maybe coming to this understanding that, placing blame outside of self, you're not doing yourself any justice by doing so, because that creates a victim mentality. Understanding that we are responsible for our well-being. We are responsible for the decisions we make. We're just responsible for the actions that we take. I didn't mean to rhyme that, but it kind of just did rhyme a little bit. Also letting go of this, some may be in the energy of grief right now. But I feel like we're releasing these. Because the card above it is give with gratitude and grace, which is a 7. I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. So understanding that the things that we've lost, or that we thought we lost, were actually lessons to teach us about ourselves. Not feeling that loss and remorse for whatever went away, whatever we went through that we had to let go of. We're not feeling that grief anymore for that. We're understanding and appreciating those lessons, appreciating our journey and things that we've been through and learned, appreciating the past partners that we've been with that have taught us many lessons, and we in turn taught them lessons as well, because we're all teachers and students at the same time. We learn and we teach. We know we're never alone. In number 6, it's a 6 in tarot, like the 6 of Wands is victory. 6 of Cups, it's emotions, it's past. Some of that, 6 of Cups energy is more like looking back on past relationships. 6 of Pentacles, equal give and take. 6 of Swords is walking away. In the card, they're leaving in a boat. And there's a man steering the boat, and there's a woman and a child. In the traditional tarot, leaving it behind. Either leaving it behind or moving toward something. That's what 6s mean in the tarot. And in the Bible, they associate the devil with the number 6, which is probably why we have that devil card out there. And like I said, that can represent, people, places, things. It can represent old patterns of belief. old habits. Anything done in excess. Synergy card. This is about acceptance. You know, and with this over here, this guilt and partners. Partners is right above it. With the energy of 4. We had that 4 energy yesterday, or day before yesterday, whenever I posted that video. I release any beliefs that no longer assist in my soul's growth. So, you know, with guilt and then partners above it, you know, releasing that guilt that you had or have about the things that happened in relationships, and it doesn't have to be romantic relationships, it can be relationships period, with anyone, friends, family. Releasing that guilt. Knowing that we are stepping into this disciplined state to where we know we can accomplish what we put our minds to, but we also know that being in a disciplined state is not as others see it to be. Some, you know, it's being disciplined within self. Some look at it as total opposite of that. Oh, well, you got to do this, you know. Being disciplined is, all of these are within self. Are you being too disciplined to where you're not allowing help from others, where you're not opening up? Which in turn, you know, being over-disciplined, over-giving, basically, when you're over-giving to people, places, or things, then we tend to get in this blame, energy of blame, and then that it turns into grief. But understanding that we are responsible for our own well-being. We can't change others. We can only change ourselves. We can only change our energy and how we respond and react to things, how we approach things. Giving gratitude and grace, knowing that that helps us by being giving of spirit with love and grace and gratitude. We know we can release these old patterns of belief, old patterns of blame, old patterns of grief, old patterns of guilt. Understanding that the past is past and it no longer exists. The only place that your past exists is within your mind. And that, you know, once you reprogram your mind and your thoughts, and you taught your brain to understand that those were lessons for your growth, then we can let that go. That past go. In order for us to, you know, go for anything and set our, you know, accomplish what we set our mind to, we have to release those old patterns. I'm going to read this Devil's Play, the Voyager Tarot. I know most of us have an idea, what the Devil card is. I did get descriptions. But in this Voyager Tarot, it does have, some different explanations. It might give us an insight. Something that I didn't pick up, maybe. Just gonna find it in here. Devil's Play. The two Greek Dionysian players in Devil's Play symbolizes the law of celebration. I'm having trouble saying this word, guys. Dionysian exaltation of life and its hard work, Capricorn. Bedevilments, devil dancers, and erotic pleasures. Laugh your fears and sorrows away. Dance and drink to your success. For life is a Saturnian harvest. Once you have made the wine, drink it. Lift your spirits by passion and play. Recreate yourself through recreation. Through drink, pan-flagon, music, pan-pipe, and mind-altering activities, mushrooms, become uninhibited and irreverent. In your iconoclasm, broken statuary, you will see in a new way and break through Saturnian discipline and social convention. Free yourself and become natural, spontaneous, and original. Well, that's cool. So that's the energy of right now. Is what we're stepping into. The shadow and negative side of Devil's Play, of course, you risk stepping off the edge under the influence of intoxicated madness. Stone blind like the dodo bird, you perform misdeeds. Out of ignorance, you are the devil, watch out. So, in this particular spread, it's asking you to embrace, free yourself and become natural, spontaneous, and original. It's asking you to embrace that. Because I really don't feel that it's the negative side. Not with these other cards accompanying it. You've got remembrance on this side, you've got communicating and escape on the opposite side. I'm going to read that remembrance card from Sacred Geometry Activations 38. I've gotten this one a couple times too. It is becoming more common for us to have access to memories of lives lived, experiences gone through, roads traveled, and journeys taken. Our memories are rapidly expanding beyond our current lifetime alone. Now that we are vibrating at a higher frequency, we are able to access deeper the parts of the grids, referred to as the Akasha, that hold our collective and personal memories of all lifetimes lived. The Akasha of the human being holds everything that the human being has experienced on this earth plane. However, this remembrance is not a linear function of the brain. Instead, it is an elusive and multidimensional aspect of the new human being, a human being that harmonizes the synaptical brain with the wisdom and intuitive thoughts of the heart and soul. There is an unmistakable sense of ancient cultures and times in the remembrance image, perhaps Native American or Mayan. We can see the reference to future civilizations and off-planet connections as well. This is an indication that time is no longer a linear absolute but a vertical. Moment-to-moment experiences that include input from many different times, layers, and dimensions. everything we've gone through as a soul in body, providing us with valuable information and tools to flow gracefully with and in this life. So utilizing the tools of the lessons that we've already learned, being disciplined, releasing the old pattern of blame or grief or guilt. Also understanding that, when others blame us, it's just their own patterns of belief within themselves. Victim consciousness, they're still being stuck in that pattern. Understanding that has nothing to do with you, collective. If it's a situation like that to where others are blaming you, causing you grief, or trying to make you feel guilty, that is their own patterning, their own beliefs. Turning knowledge into wisdom. When this, with this tower here on the bottom after the devil's play, I really feel like it's a good tower. It's something that maybe you're having a realization about yourself, and you're seeing, oh wow, I've been doing this for so long, and I thought it was a belief of my own, but it wasn't. It was a learned pattern, a learned belief. But I really feel like this tower is a realization. I'll read this air element communicating and 12th house escape and see what those have to say from the Black Moon Astrology. All of these tend to tie in really well to each other. Oh, that was right there. Think it over first. Put some mental effort into it before you put your talk into action. Be logical, sort it out. The air element is about being objective and becoming mentally inspired. When we think of air, we think of clouds and sky and what connects us to the beyond. Air is all about lofty thinking, being broad-minded and expansive. Air sign people, Gemini, Librans, and Aquarius, sometimes come off as a little cool and detached. They weigh everything, mull the situation over, decide what they think, and then process what they feel. Air also reminds us of flight, and flights of the mind are what the air element rules over. Those governed by air signs are mentally inclined and tend to distance the emotions. Air can represent overthinking and distancing the heart and emotions with abstractions and mental puzzles. This works well when things do need to be sorted out and clarified. Air also represents clear seeing in all its capabilities, so can signify clairvoyant abilities as well as seeing things for what they truly are, without emotions involved. When the air element card presents itself in a reading, it is time to put into words what you want, what you desire, and what you expect. So Aries, Aries new moon is about setting your seeds of intention. What do you want to create? Like it asks here, what do you want? What you desire? What do you expect? The good news is some issues you've been working on at the current time and possibly from the past are now being resolved. You're able to face them without pretense, but most importantly with honesty. Air is all about being quick on your toes. How curious are you and how ingenious? Air also gives us the power to apply our energies in diverse ways. It's all about being spontaneous in the moment and landing on your feet. And where you are able to approach things with precision and sharpness. There is also freedom now to take a new path. Air signs look young, so this card is all about feeling young, looking at things anew, having energy, and being young. When your question is about relationships or romance, someone may not be willing to commit as much as the other at this time. It is possible that they are embarrassed or not as comfortable about sharing emotions as the other. So the air element card can mean there is a type of impasse in relationships. It can become a type of weighing of all the angles and odds and being unable to reach a decision. But this will only be a temporary matter. Sometimes this card simply means ambition and the need to soar as high as you can, which is now possible more than ever before. Ideally, this card indicates the powers of manifestation. The magic of mind and thought brings ideas into well-being. Okay, let's see, I'm going to read the 36. Let's see that. Okay, this card, the air element communicating, represents the Ace of Swords in the tarot. So let's see what 36, 12th house, escape. Okay, the escape card represents the Four of Cups. Okay. 12th house escape. The lunatic, the lover, and the poet are of imagination all compact. William Shakespeare. It is time to get on point. It's not a time to ignore or overlook what's there. Things may get fragmented. The 12th house of the zodiac is the most mesmerizing of all of the houses. Mysticism, dreaming, drowning, vast seas, and surrendering. All are themes that belong to this house of self-undoing. It is also the place in the chart where we lapse in our judgment and make bad choices. Like the sign of Pisces that rules it, the 12th house falls at the end of the zodiac, which indicates a type of passage or rebirth. This house contains the meanings of all signs and planets and all the other houses within it. The 12th house stands for the all. Even though astrologers refer to the 12th house as the gutter or garbage dump of the zodiac, it is still distinct in its meaning. Evolved souls and the doomed to live here. Within the 12th house are the highest of the highs and the lowest of the lows, ruled by Neptune, the planet of confusion and drunkenness. Prisoners, shut-ins, saints, artists, and mystics call this home. Imagination, linking up, and connecting to the unknown are all facets of the 12th house. It is where the material and non-physical world connect. It is both the beginning and the end. The 12th house offers bliss, spiritual fulfillment, the meeting up with twin flames. It promises of losing yourself in some beautiful other, but it might be like trying to hold on to a cloud. This house of poetry and oceans is enchantment. It is where we live. It is where we lie to ourselves as well. This house also represents water, toxins, poisoned perfumes, candles, hidden chambers, secreted desires, Christ consciousness, and martyrdom. The 12th house tells us to forget about ourselves and live for others. But this may bring confusion and also peril. It is fear and paranoia. It is beauty and love. It teaches us to write poetry and understand the messages from the heavenly spheres. The 12th house inspires us to show great kindness. When the 12th house card comes up in a reading, something is amiss. There is something about the situation you are unsure about, or at least are not privy to. All is not as it seems. Without information, it's difficult to move forward. The signal you're getting are probably wrong ones. That medical test you just had, the diagnosis, is not likely accurate. What seems obvious right now is only a mirage or obscured. The Venus or Libra card with the 12th house card may indicate the emergence of an important love affair or relationship. But it wasn't with the Venus card, it was with the communicating air card. Let's see if it shows on here. The warning with this card is to not look to others for fulfillment or to others to give you your purpose, at least not at the current phase. It's either the incorrect time to attempt this or you are looking to the wrong crowd. While the 10th house gives us the truth, the 12th house gives us magic. Each is important and you cannot be all that is without the other. Take heed and search for clarity. Watch out for deception at this time. So it kind of ties in with the Capricorn card as well. Dissolving of boundaries. Lack of definition. Call to spirit. The answer to love. So hopefully between those two, well, three, because we had an extra one there, but you know, this resonated with me and different things. It's changing within myself. So I hope this resonated with you guys. If it didn't, then, you know, like I said, we're drawn to certain readers because they are part of our soul tribe and they have messages for us because they are at that particular point in our journey. So I hope you guys have a beautiful day, and I will see you very soon.